Greetings, wholeness and balance. My name is Barak Yalad Shidoshi, head teacher and owner of the Tenrai Dojo, co-host of the podcast, The Martial Maze, and video series, Modern Combatives. In this episode, I felt that it was important that myself and Lopez Sensei share our traditions, being that we are martial art teachers and school owners. Our goal is to try to inform martial artists and martial fans with intelligent dialogue and unite all martial artists. No matter what system you come from, you paid your dues with blood, sweat, and tears, and we at the Martial Maze honor that. So I started my martial arts training as a young boy. I have 40 years of martial experience under my belt, so that should let you know I'm much older than 40 years old. I've trained with several different instructors, but the ones I'm mentioning here are the ones that I've spent many years with and earned rank. My first teacher was my father. He was a Vietnam vet, a Marine. He learned Hapkido overseas. And when he came back to the States, he continued his Hapkido training under Master Chang in Springfield, Massachusetts. And that's what he started teaching me at home, among many other things that he learned while serving as a Marine. The combative skills with street intelligence made growing up in the streets a bit easier, but I had plenty of bumps in the road along the way. My next teacher was Professor Kalaii Kano Griffin. The systems I learned from him was Chinese Kenpo Karate, Kajukenbo Karate, Vee Arnis Jutsu, and Aikijitsu. Now in my school I teach BudoTaijutsu, which I learned from my third teacher, Nakayama Matoyoshi Sensei. This was the man responsible for opening up the world of Shinobijutsu to me. When he transitioned, I continued my training with Soke Hatsumi Sensei, founder of the Bujinkan. There I continued learning BudoTaijutsu in the same traditions I learned from under Nakayama Sensei. From there I branched off and started my own school. Taijutsu refers to a series of techniques for unarmed combat in Japanese martial arts. Taijutsu is also a synonym for jujutsu and yawara. This umbrella term includes various strikes, kicks, throws, joint locks, chokes, passive defense combat relevant to movements such as rolling, diving, leaping, and climbing. Taijutsu translates the body, and jutsu would be described as the science of body movement. And so before we go into this particular kata, I just want to explain the importance of kata. All right, kata is like learning the alphabet. It's learning the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s. All right, you can't begin to build or spell if you don't know your alphabets. You can't do mathematics if you don't know your numbers. All right, so we have to learn the basics first, and then after you learn the basics, then you're able to spell, or you're able to put the techniques together. This is the importance of why you need to know kata. All right, if you don't know kata, then you won't know how to apply your technique. So it's just like learning how to speak or pronounce your words. You have just starting with 3 letters, C-A-T, cat. All right, and so in order to pronounce it properly, if you're teaching a child, is k-a-t, k-a-t. All right, so you're learning your basic strikes, you're learning your basic punches, all forms of kicks, and you're learning the proper mechanics of this. All right, this is the form. This is part of kata. This is also your basics. All right, so to give an idea of what kata is, because you have certain folks that may be, saying, kata's useless. There's no need for that. That's like not knowing how to add, subtract, or multiply or divide. That's how foolish that sounds. Okay, so if you're in a BJJ school, and you're doing groundwork, that groundwork you're doing is called kata. They may call it ground drills. We're flowing. It's kata. If you are in a boxing gym and you're learning the proper form on how to punch, first you're learning the proper punching technique. Okay? That is part of kata. And when you're learning the drills like jab, cross, hook, that is also part of kata. This is why kata is very important. So now we're going to go on to a kata in my school, because when you're doing taijutsu or jujutsu, we always do katas in pairs, all right? Because it leaves no room for confusion, and you know exactly what you're doing the technique for, okay? So they're always done in pairs. That's why I love jujutsu, all right? And this particular kata is the second kata in Gyokuryu Koshi Jutsu, all right? And Gyokuryu translates to Jade Tiger School, and this particular kata is called Rinyo, and it translates into Imperial Pelican. All right, you may want to look that one up. Okay, so we're going to start this off. So we're going to go over part one. From here, we go into Kamae. Now she walks and strikes. I do Jodan Uke. So now step back. What's happening is I'm stepping at a 45-degree angle, and it's like I'm kind of like scooping up water in a cup and splashing it out. Now, because this is Koshi Jutsu, we're attacking Kyusho points, or the vital points of the body. So, once again, let's switch to the other side so you can see exactly what's happening. All right, as she strikes, 1, I step on a 45-degree angle. 2, attacking the Hoshi. Okay? Now, after we do that, she throws in a kick. I snare that kick as my hand is already prepared for a strike. I move that over Urashuto to the base of the skull. Now, to break her grip, I put my thumbs in the Kisho point between her thumb, that tissue between her thumb and index finger, pressing down. From here, I step up, going into a Taki order. So I want to push her off her center. So I take my right, and I'm cuffing her elbow with my fingers, and I have a Gyaku tag. What happens is now I reverse as I come down. Now, this can actually be a break, or if I'm here, just relax for a second. If I take the bottom of my tricep, just here, and tap when you feel, you see it doesn't take much. So that's where the break is supposed to happen. But she knows what I'm going to do. She does a Gyaku Waza, which is a reversal form. As she's making that C, it passes onto my left hand. As she does that, you see now I'm pivoting. And then I go right here to my geri. From my geri, I step back, step forward, and I do a Yoko Aruki, and this is called Omote Kote Gyaku, or also known as Kote Gayashi. Here, take down Fumikomi, all right, into the Waketsuba, which is the lymph nodes under the arm, with the heel with the kakato, as I pull up on the arm, kiai, and then from here, pull off, cross step, go into Kamae.
So, this is Renya of Gyokuryu Koshijutsu.
So some of the categories for BudoTaijutsu involve Kyushojutsu, which is vital point study, Jujutsu, which is joint locking, throwing and choking and grappling, Dakenjutsu, which is striking, kicking, and blocking, and Sogobujutsu, which is a variety of different weapons. The name of my school is the Tenrai Seishitsu Dojo, and that translates into the Divine Nature School. The divine part of my school is to pay homage to the All, the Most High, the universe, and our ancestors. The Spirit is what gives us the knowledge, the wisdom, and the strength to endure when all things fail. There are 5 steps I bring my students through to become a complete human being ready to fly. 1. Regulating the flesh. 2. Regulating the breath. 3. Regulating the mind. And 4, regulating chi, or the ki. And 5, regulating the spirit. My school is a universal warrior school, a spiritual school. So we're open to all walks of life and religions. Come as you are and harm none unless you're protecting your loved ones. That includes friends and family and those who cannot protect themselves. It's about becoming a better human being. The nature side of my school is making the earth my dojo. So we're always outdoors training in all weather conditions, learning urban and wilderness living. Notice I didn't say survival, living. The martial disciplines that are taught in my school is referred to as BudoTaijutsu, Goshinjutsu, and Shinobijutsu. So we're going to work with Chudanski, which is middle strike. So we do a jab and a cross to the midsection. I'm a body hitter. Everyone always aims for the face and tries to hit the face. I can touch the face a little bit, but I like to make you throw up your hand. All right, that's my job. All right, so let's get into Judachi. All right, so the first one here is you throw a jab, cross. There, 1, stop. Okay, your hand up. Right there. Now go back. When she throws that strike, I'm not just smacking it. Throw the strike. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that at all. All right? What I'm doing is here. All right? So I spread my fingers to create tension in the palm of my hand. So that way I can create trauma on her carpal bones or metacarpal. I can crack them. All right? So first she strikes 1. That's 1. All right, now she does a cross. 2, all right, so this is a Geidan Sukui. All right, and I go into a trap here. So once again, 1, 2. All right, and I'm applying Tai Sabaki at the same time. Okay, so also I'm doing a half plunge to the neck. I was just showing one component, and we're going to turn around so you can see the other side. All right, so 1, 2, half clench to the neck, making sure I'm controlling the body entirely. All right, let's turn around this side. So we're here, 1, 2, half clench to the neck. You see how I'm controlling the arm. All right, so what I do with my back leg, my back right, I let in Mawashi Hiza, all right, which is a roundhouse knee. All right, I like it, it's a sneaky knee. All right, so let's turn around on the other side so you can see that knee. All right, so let's get into our posture. Strike 1, 2, 3. So I let it go. Now from here, right when I put it down, all right, what I'm going to do is let go. You see, so I put her head right into place
right into the right place of my arm. So come back up. So what's happening here is that I'm resting her neck, her trachea, on the ridge of my arm, the blade of my arm. All right? So starting from the top again. 1, 2, drop the knee, shift the arm right under her neck, grab my bicep, apply pressure, there. All right, and that's your reverse triangle choke. All right. Once again, the footwork, I go into a Neko Asadachi. All right, so I'm just going to shadow this for a second. All right, so I'm here in this position. I'm checking, come in with a half clinch, drop the knee, pull the head down. All right, slide the arm under the trachea, grab the bicep, and put this hand right across her back. So it shouldn't be on the same side. It should go right across. Okay? So, once again, switch it up. Strike. 1, 2, here. Bring down. Choke. Apply. There. Slide your head out. What does this look like? There you go. So, for all our kamais, there's applications, right? So this little space right here is what we call the kukan, the void. There's always something happening there all the time. So this is another way. There are a bunch of different ways to show what's happening in the void because it's nothing but space, all right? That's why we call it space. So it's really based on your creativity. So once again, strike. 1, 2, knee, apply. All right, now you ready to try that to me?
I don't know if my choke can be as fast, but.
All right, let's work it, let's work it. Okay, so I'm right here. 1, 2, half clinch, half clinch. Good. All right, bring your elbow down, pulling my head down. There you go. Now bring that knee up. Boom. All right. Now bring my head down, and there you go. Shoot that through. Good. Grab your bicep. Go across my back to the opposite shoulder.
If I can reach.
All right. So you got to work on that. All right. So you want to make sure my head is right there in the center. Here. You see? Right there. All right. So when you bring my head down, it's great, keep. Good, nice and low. Grab your bicep, cuff really nice and tight. Grab your bicep. Bring your arm across. There you go. All right, so you should be like this.
So my arms get on.
Yeah, all right. So that's exactly what I want you to do, but you get it in there really tight. All right, you got short arms, really scissor it in, really nice and tight. Okay? So, once again, we're here. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Good job. Good job. All right. Good. All right. Another way to play with this, all right, like I said, you can have endless variations of these techniques. All right. So, let's get into our posture. No, you can stay on the same side. All right. So we're here. Jab cross. 1, 2. Right when I'm here. 2. All right. 3. Then I come across. Break. But you see how she puts her head forward? Walk with a knee. All right. So once again, we're here. 1. Boom. There. See, the break happens here. Hop, walk. How you like that? All right. One more time again. We're here. All right, jab, cross, hit, break, walk. You want to give that a shot?
Stop trying.
Okay, let's give it a shot. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, now you can just pull off. can boom, or punch the neck, boom, go here, both hands right here on the elbow, control the neck. You can break that arm right there, all right? And boom, and walk.
Okay.
All right, let's try it again. 1, 2, let go, strike, up, both hands on the elbow, press down, boom, walk, boom. Walk the dog. All right, let's try it again. So we're here. 1, 2, 3. Ha ha. Boom. All right. You see?
The history of the shinobi is an enigma. They were known but not really known because of the area they lived in. In Japan, it was known as Iga and Koka, a mountainous wilderness. They were village people, they were farmers, they were folks, not in the public eye like the rest of Japan's provinces. The shinobi mainly exist on the fringe of history, popping up in the midst of action, yet remaining veiled. The history of the shinobi is ancient. Some scholars say it goes back 2,500 years, some say 4,300 years, and this is based off the usage of the kanji shinobi in the old manuscripts. Was it speaking about a particular person, or was it talking about a particular action? However, the action of the shinobi has been developed since earlier times. In Japanese lore, these skills are linked to the legendary characters like the 8th century Prince Yamato or the mythical creatures known as Tengu, which are described as being birdman demons. As well as teaching the folklore to my students, there is also a strong historical component to this, and the seeds of Shinobijutsu are known to be derived from the Chinese. The Chinese refugees fled to Japan after the collapse of the Tang Dynasty in China in the early 10th centuries. Generals and sages made their ways to the mountains of Iga and Koka, and there is where they taught spiritual beliefs, martial arts, military stratagems, medicines, potions, and this training gave birth to Shinobijutsu. And the shinobi hide in the famous Hattori Hanzo family has Chinese origins, so that should give you an idea. Here is one of the oral traditions taught, also known as kurin, among the Iga, Kiri no en no daiji, translated as the principle of Mudra of mist. This particular skill set is taught in Togakureryu, in the category of Shinobi ge Ashigata. This is a Metsubushi technique which translates into eye closers or blinding technique. This skill was used among the shinobi and samurai to disorientate, to capture, or escape. The ingredients are sulfur, saltpeter, which is potassium nitrate, ground pepper, blue vitriol, which is copper sulfate pentahydrate, chili pepper, and nicotine. You grind them into a fine powder, and you can put it into a bamboo cylinder or scabbard of your sword or an egg, and just keep it concealed in your kimono. So, I grind it to a very fine powder. This is what it looks like. Right here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is scoop some of this powder and put it inside the egg. It's easier if you had a funnel. If you had a funnel, it's definitely easier.
So what you would do is you would fill the egg up with the dust or the mist. And then what I would do is when I fill this egg up, I would take tape and cover the hole up. Now, I took the yolk out of the egg about a day ago. So you just crack a little hole at the top and you dump all the contents out, and then you let the egg sit and dry for about a day. And what I do is I put a little piece of tape at the top and put another piece. This is how I do it. Okay, now, it's called Mudra for a reason, all right? It's because of the traditions of the Japanese. A lot of Hinduism, a lot in various forms of Buddhism, mainly just Buddhism, okay? And so usually, because the shinobi, they were very esoteric folks, they would, shake the contents up and they would chant the mantra, all right, to enchant the egg, all right? Say some form of a spell, a mantra to enchant the egg, all right? Or you can put the egg down and do a mudra. Mudra is more like, I call it finger weaving. So it's like a seal or mark, and you can meditate over the egg doing such. Once again, the mudras are more part of the esoteric part of Buddhism and Hinduism. This is mudra mist. So you would take this mitsubishi and you would conceal it in your kimono, or you have a nice little pouch or something, but you would conceal it in your kimono, okay? And when you need it, you will pull out, you can smack on you and disperse, all right? And right when you smack out and you throw in disperse, then you can pull out your katana, you can cut, you can do what you need to do, or you can get out of there, okay? Just be mindful of the direction the wind is blowing in, all right? If the wind is blowing towards you, you do not want to do this because then you will end up damaging yourself. Okay, so make sure you pay attention to which direction the wind is blowing in. If you're learning Shinobijutsu, here are some of the skill sets you should know. Now, in my school syllabus, it's broken down as the Tenchi Jin Ryaku no Maki, and that's the principles of heaven, earth, and man. Now, there are two sides of the coin, but I'm just going to focus on one side. In heaven, we touch on a little bit of meteorology, night sky and constellations, learning how to navigate under the stars and the sun, learning the phases of the moon. We touch about sociology and theology of world religions. Now, you could take the time to master these, but I just touch on the basics so you know how to get by. Now, for the earth, you learn fire construction and transport, urban wilderness survival, trap settings, water training, and infiltration skills. And for the man, you learn Taijutsu and Goshinjutsu, information gathering, language skills, climbing skills, rope work skills, stealth and camouflage, and first aid, of course. Now, there are many other skill sets, but this is just to give you an idea. This is why I laugh at YouTube posts saying MMA versus ninjutsu. It makes absolutely no sense. It's like saying MMA versus CIA agent. That's how foolish it sounds. Shinobi skills allowed you to creep in well-protected enclosures without being discovered and leaving no evidence that you were there. You learn different disguises to blend in. We're talking about pure spycraft like Jason Bourne or The Equalizer. Fighting is the last thing we do. We train to eliminate threats. There are no evenly matched duels. I am a 90%, 100% guy. I don't do 50-50. That's not me. It makes no sense in the real world. This is chess, not checkers. And also, I just want to make it clear, keep it for the record. Taijutsu is not Shinobijutsu, but Taijutsu is a part of the Shinobi skill sets.
One does not need to know taijutsu to carry out shinobi activity. And I'm going to close on that note. Now, for those who are interested in my school, you can reach me by going to my website. That is Tenrai Seishitsu.com. Or you can email me at veeyalad@gmail.com. If you use Facebook, you can message me. Search me under Barak Yalad Shidoshi and leave a detailed message. Now, I want to be clear, my school is a private school. I bring everyone through an interview process first to make sure you're the right fit for my school. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Wholeness and balance.
Next week on Modern Combatives. Well, this is it, folks. The last episode of Season 1. And the answer to the question is no. It's not a figment of your imagination. That's definitely me practicing Okinawa-te. It's been a best-kept secret for all these years, so shh, promise not to tell anyone. From California with Gary Goltz to A Little Hungar with Master Winshow Wu. It's been one hell of a season and one hell of a ride. So, I'll see you next week.